Hello, welcome to Moogle Speak. Today I'd like to touch on some of the interesting points that I found from the latest producer's live letter. That would be the second one they did. And also, before I start, I'd like to give a quick forward on the new format for my videos. I've been told or commented a few times now since I've started doing these videos that some of you guys don't like how I ramble at the beginning of my videos and how I talk about different things. So what I'm going to do instead is just hit you guys with the facts and the major topic that I'm talking about, and then towards the end of the video is when I'm going to have all that extra fluff stuff. So if you're interested in hearing about my personal life and whatnot, then you stay tuned. If not, then that's okay too. Alright, so at the beginning, the first thing that was touched on was why should people subscribe to the game starting in December? Which is a valid question, and I did touch on that in the first Moogle Speak, but this is what Yoshi P had to say. First of all, there will be the first year anniversary event, and that will be the start of the 7th Umbral era. Now we are in the 6th era, I believe, so the 7th Umbral era will start, and there will be a major, not catastrophic, but cataclysmic event. I believe it will be the Garlean Empire that will start to invade, and also the rise of the Acons, are the primals and all that, which are already starting to arrive, like the Ifrit battle and the evil Moogles and all that. So more about the elementals and basically the change of the storyline, because the storyline has started with the first dev team, and now since the dev team has changed what they're going to do, they're not just changing how the maps are designed and how the world is designed, but also the story progression. So the current story progression is in a sense coming to an end, and a new one is starting. So they're going to have major events for that, which is going to engage the player base. Going to be very interesting. The other thing too is we're going to have 24-hour GM support, so which I guess we don't have right now. The GM support is really limited just because it's free, so they can't, right now what's happening is redeveloping this game. They're throwing money at this game and support for it. So and we're not giving them anything other than what we've already given them for the box price. So, that would be another reason why we would be subscribing, is to help to pay for that, for the GM support. Also, an interesting thing is character data will be kept for everyone until the version 2.0 of the game, so the re-release. That means if you've ever played Final Fantasy XIV from the release date, your character data is not going anywhere, even if you're not playing right now. So that's a really good thing to know. So yeah, a 2.0, if you want to start again, all you've done so far will still be there, regardless if you've been paying a subscription or not. Okay? Also, the seamless world is actually going away with the new redesign, which means that there's going to be loading areas as before. Now, I think what they were saying is that it's actually not going to be like Final Fantasy XI, where the loading screens were a black screen. It's going to load seamlessly, but the world is not going to be a big open world and seamless like it is now. It's going to be separated more. So I'm not too clear on what it means exactly, but they seem to be confident in that it's not going to affect players too much. The interesting thing that was asked on that was if the chat channels was going to be interrupted while loading a new screen, and they said no. So that makes me think that it's going to be seamless, even though it's not going to be a seamless world anymore, if that makes any sense. Okay. There's going to be housing in 2.0, and the houses are going to be pretty elaborate. Before 2.0, we will be getting private rooms in the existing inns in the cities. So when you go to the Adventurers Guild, you probably have noticed that there's also an inn there. And they're right now it's not doing anything. It's I think they're renting out retainers, and that's about it. But believe in February or in a few months from now, you'll be able to rent your own private room. Now they're debating what that's going to be like and what are the features of the private room, whether we'll be able to call in our retainers, hopefully, because our retainers, as you might know, are also our bank. This is where you store all your things. So to be able to call your retainers in the house would make sense, I guess. Cats. Okay, yes. The other thing is whether if you log off in your private room, maybe you'll get bonuses as well. So that's another incentive to use the private room. And yeah, so they're still discussing on what's going to be in there. Hopefully, we'll be able to decorate and all that, but they haven't said anything about that yet. So what we will be able to decorate for sure is the estates that are coming in version 2.0. You'll be able to change the roof. So the houses will actually be houses in a neighborhood type of place, probably. And you'll be able to change the roof, so you'll probably be able to change the walls and all that. You'll be able to have a backyard with a garden, so you can grow your own food and all that. Probably a lot like the gardening in Final Fantasy XI. Also, once when you defeat monsters and you get, rare loot from them, like a dragon's head or something, you'll be able to take those to crafters or craft them yourselves and convert them into trophies for your house. Yeah. So, and these are not all final ideas, but they're all things that they're seriously looking into doing. So that's really exciting. They show a screenshot of the in-room already. That was cool. Okay, so 2.0, the system graphics will actually scale better. So even though the graphics are going to be better than what we have now, they're going to be more optimized. And if you have a lower end PC, you'll be able to turn down a lot of the features a lot more, like the distance of when NPCs appear or player characters appear and all that things. So you'll be able to adjust that a lot more control over how the graphic settings are. And yeah, so it should work on a lot more systems than the current version is. I can't read my note. Possible that, oh, subscribers. Okay, another cool thing about subscribing right now is that there's a possibility that we'll get special mounts only for the early adopters of the game. So if you subscribe before 2.0, there's a possibility of getting either a Drake, a Gobu, or an Araman as a mount. And Aramans are flying, so, or at least floating in the air, so that's really interesting. And these are just examples. They're not, there's nothing final about that, but that's something that they're looking into doing. So I would be really, really, really interested in getting, a special mount. Also, jumping was shown. It's in very early stages right now, and they're not happy with how it's looking. The jumping is really, really high. A lot of people thought that, it didn't look very good, or it didn't look realistic, especially for Final Fantasy online game. So, but it'll be tweaked a lot. I mean, it's looking pretty good so far. The animation's a lot better than I've seen in most MMOs. It's just too high. So, and also they've said, to go along with that, that they're looking at swimming content post 2.0, so that's a lot later on. And they want to have not just swimming. If they're going to incorporate swimming, they want to have underwater temples and raids and, battles and stuff to do underwater. A lot like Guild Wars 2, I guess. So that's really interesting. I don't know if they'll ever get to do that, but it's cool that they're at least planning on it. So, and I don't think they would have mentioned it if they weren't seriously thinking about it. Also, we were told that information about the mages. So conjurers will be white mages. Okay, so backtrack a bit here. It was asked whether the conjurers, which one, whether the conjurer or the thaumaturge was going to be white mage or black mage or whatever. And white mage and black mage are actually advanced specializations, advanced classes. So right now what you have are certain classes that you can choose. You can be a conjurer, thaumaturge, you can be, marauder, puglist, whatever. And later on, once you reach level 30 of one class, and I believe level 15 of another, you get specializations that open up. For example, if you have your Conjurer to 30 and your Thaumaturge to 15, you can become a White Mage. Now, if you reverse that and you get Thaumaturge to 30 and Conjurer to 15, you can become a Black Mage. So that was confirmed. So Conjurer, White Mage, Thaumaturge, Black Mage. Some people aren't happy about that, but that's how they're going about. They're also saying that we're going to have Thief, and a lot of the Final Fantasy-ish classes are coming back. Beastmaster, Dragoon, all that. I think I mentioned that in the last video. Also, Magitech armor is coming from Final Fantasy VI. Now, I've never played Final Fantasy VI. I'm not too sure what they're talking about. But if you have, I imagine it's something to be really, really excited about. From the concept art that they've shown, it looks like you can ride these things. They're kind of like robot, mounts or something like that. I don't know, or robot suits. So that looks really, really cool. Dragoons may possibly have wyverns. They weren't going to have wyverns like in Final Fantasy XI in this game. But because a lot of people are asking for it, they're thinking about it. So I'm not too sure about that. I think there shouldn't be wyvern personally, just because you're killing dragons and that's the dragoon's job. So I don't know, but that's a possibility. Also, at the end, now the interesting thing that happened at the end was Square Enix CEO Warayuchi, I don't know if I said that right, I'm sorry, made an appearance, and he stated that they're looking into discounts for the subscription fee for those people that subscribe early. So there will be more details coming in, I imagine, before the sub is installed. So look for that. And that's interesting that they are thinking that, maybe they won't charge the full price right away. So, and that was something that was brought up within the community quite a bit since the announcement that they were going to charge a subscription. So that's, look forward to that. And there you go. That's pretty much all my most interesting points, the things that came out at me from the producer letter. So I hope you enjoyed. Now, from what I'm just drinking plain old coffee with French vanilla cream, and it's awesome. And I think that's about it. So we will see you next time on Moogle Speak and Game Latte. Have a great week. Bye-bye.